what were some challenges that you faced along the way? Because we don't want people to think that like stepping into entrepreneurship is, cakewalk.
Oh, there's zero cake involved.
Yeah.
Zero.
Yeah.
There's zero cake and there's no walking. There's a lot of crawling, a lot of crying, and a lot of you just have to, I just wrote in my newsletter. Yeah. Challenges are my product, there's product and there's services. So I had like basically an idea that became kind of a product, and then the product became a service. And then, people are like, that's a service. Well, why we have BLS and ACLS and PALS? Why do we need this? I'm like, well, I don't know. The time to shock in the hospital right now in the United States is 9 minutes. Maybe there's that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be in 2 or less, but surrounded by healthcare workers and surrounded by the equipment, truly that's the time frame across our country is 9 minutes, which is the same amount of time it takes for an ambulance to get to your living room. So I just kind of knew that that's just not cutting it. It's not cutting it. And so I'm not stopping. So you just can't stop. You have to love the problem more than your solution and be ready to iterate. So I'd say there's lots of critics, but when it comes down to resources, most healthcare systems, they have to have, basic, advanced, or pediatric life support. It doesn't have to be from one entity or another. It could be anyone. Culturally, some of the legacy organizations are just the norm.
Right.
And then people then have to recognize that, okay, so we're paying this gigantic bill for our, 15,000 employees, or some have a lot more than that. We have to say, whoops, our response times aren't there. Our saves aren't there. The confidence isn't there, but we don't actually have to have this. So that's probably my biggest roadblock is people don't have to have my program. But the fun part is working with people who recognize that their teams need it, and we do it anyway. So that's the cool part. You can't, you have to really listen to the feedback. You have to make sure that there's people who want it, and you got to make sure that there's people who will pay for it.
Yeah.
And once you have that more than once, you have that a handful of times. Well, in my book, that's enough to keep going.
Yeah.
So, and frankly, the institutions that say, "Oh, we don't have that problem here," I'm like, really? Really?
Test that theory.
Yeah, really. If you ask your supervisors or your managers, they're begging for it. I promise, because supervisors and managers and directors, they want their teams to feel confident. And they do not want them to go home feeling like they might not have done the best that they could have. That's a horrible ripple effect in a nurse to feel like they weren't prepared and didn't know what to do. That hurts my heart. That's why I created it in the first place. And then other than that, it works.